In LA this week.
What you are looking at behind me is the first mixed-use development complex to be built from the ground up in historic Chinatown. And more of these projects are on the way. I'm Gil Reyes with the story next.
An LAPD red carpet with confetti at the LAPD Academy. I'm Anna Marcos, and we'll show you what this party is all about coming up.
Ever dreamed of being a fireman? Well, here's your chance to turn your dream into a reality. We'll tell you how next. Hello and welcome to LA This Week. Thanks for joining us. I'm Yana Kay. Well, Chinatown has somehow escaped the development boom exploding in other parts of downtown. That is, until now. Tenants have started moving into a first-of-its-kind complex for that area. Gil Reyes has more from Chinatown. Gil.
Yes, Yana, truly a historic day in downtown Los Angeles. We've seen the proliferation of these mixed-use development complexes near transit stops in areas like Little Tokyo, the Arts District, and at Staples Center. But this is the first such development to be built from the ground up in the area of Chinatown, and more are on the way. It's Chinatown's first. New apartments, retail space, and affordable housing all in one complex at 900 North Broadway. And all of it within walking distance of the Metro Gold Line. The train could be the biggest perk for tenant and Claremont College professor Nicole Holliday.
I can just hop on the Metro here and then take the Metro link all the way out there to work, so I don't have to drive as much.
Oh, wow. I mean, you're like the perfect tenant. That's exactly who they're looking for.
Yeah.
Take advantage of the public transport.
But also, too, you know, even when I'm going to just do stuff, like sometimes I go down to the Arts District or go up to Echo Park, like I ride my bike. I don't really, because I came from New York, I'm not really accustomed to driving even though I have a car. So I like this location a lot because you have a lot of options.
That's how they roll at Chinatown's new Blossom Plaza. 237 apartment units, more than 50 of them reserved as affordable housing. The plaza sits where the old Little Joe's restaurant used to be and got its name Blossom from the property's former owner, who retained the rights to name it.
Blossom was my mom's name, Bibi, and I even love the logo that's on these hats and on this building because it just bounces out and talks about a blossoming.
Chinatown itself is blossoming, with more mixed-use projects in the works. There's College Station at Spring End College, some 770 units when it opens in a couple years. Also opening in 2018 will be La Plaza Cultura Village at Cesar Chavez and Broadway, with 355 units. It's taken nearly 20 years of neighborhood input and 3 Chinatown council members to get to this point.
We're able to see what the community envisions begin to come to life. And now with Councilman Cedillo, we can actually see it realized.
This is really the model, the template that we would love for Los Angeles. It's transit-centered, it's job-centered, and it's community-focused. So this is really the top drawer.
Oh my gosh, yeah, there's a million restaurants, and there's Chinese food, but there's Vietnamese food, and then there's like always Latin American food, right, everywhere in LA. So like, it's actually a lot more diverse in Chinatown than people probably expect it to be.
Find out for yourself by visiting the new and constantly changing Chinatown. I'm Gil Reyes for LA This Week.
As a show of respect to the old neighborhood, developers have made charitable donations to several community groups like the Chinatown Service Center and the East Wind Foundation for Youth. Well, it's not just luxury units being built. The city is on a mission to build housing for everyone, including the homeless and working poor. Gil Reyes has more.
You'll notice it throughout downtown. The city is in the midst of a building boom. That includes market rate, affordable and subsidized housing for the homeless, and strategically placing many of these developments near transit stops to encourage more use of public transportation, less driving, and cleaner air. Mayor Eric Garcetti outlines this strategy to Southern California builders. They've gathered here at the Autry Museum to talk about their need for even more home building, more construction jobs. The mayor says the more housing we build, the more reductions we'll eventually see to the cost of housing. It's all about supply and demand. Right now, nearly 2/3 of us struggle to pay mortgage or rent.
nearly 2/3. This is something you feel even with your own employees. So the urgency of that means that we have to do this because it can solve traffic, it can solve pollution, it can help us build a strong economy, and address issues like homelessness.
But not everyone's a fan of the increased development. The AIDS Healthcare Foundation is expected to place a measure on the March ballot to halt major construction projects. The group says overdevelopment is ruining areas like Hollywood and squeezing out the poor. The mayor's goal is 100,000 new housing units of all types, market rate, affordable, and housing for the homeless by the year 2021. I'm Gil Reyes for LA This Week.
The mayor says under his executive directive, any housing project with 10 or more units of affordable housing automatically streamlines the permitting process. Well, but building more affordable housing in the city just isn't enough. City leaders aim to end homelessness once and for all, and they want to do it with a bond that would bring about a massive housing construction plan. Anna Marcos has more on Proposition HHH, which will go on the November ballot.
It's an ambitious plan. Give every homeless Angelino not only a home, but supportive services like drug and mental health counseling. City leaders believe Prop HHH will get us there. They gathered with social workers and formerly homeless residents at the new Genesis Apartments, a model for supportive housing.
I'm here to tell you that not having a home, it takes you away of being a human being.
We see too many people who tonight as we go to bed, 21,000 of them have no bed of their own. Here in this city, that is outrageous.
Proposition HHH, the Housing and Hope to End Homelessness measure, will go on the city's November ballot. It's a $1.2 billion bond to build housing for 10,000 homeless Angelinos over the next 10 years. The bond would also finance affordable housing for poorer Angelinos. Property owners would foot the bill, paying an extra $33 a year on their property tax bill.
This might be the most important thing that all of us do in our lives. You want to go to heaven?
Council President Herb Wesson even wants to add an extra H to Proposition HHH.
Then let's vote for HHH and H.
But whether you believe in heaven or not, advocates say, supportive housing costs less than leaving people on the street in the long run. Plus, it's better for business, and it's more humane. I'm Anna Marcos for LA This Week.
Now, the funds will help triple the pace that LA is currently building housing. Now, we've reported a lot about spikes in homelessness citywide, but did you know increases in the San Fernando Valley have actually surpassed the cities as a whole? As Gil Reyes reports, Valley leaders hosted a town hall meeting to talk about the problem.
The ugly truth is that homelessness can strike almost anyone at any time. Ask Vincent Neal, an elected member of the Canoga Park Neighborhood Council. Neal is also homeless. In 2011, he, his wife, and their 7 kids lost their big house in the valley and began living in an RV. Then things got worse.
Department of Child and Family Services, the Sheriff's Department said it was illegal for us to live with children in an RV and took our children. We had to fight for a year and a half to get them back. And they finally realized that it's not illegal to be homeless or live in an RV. So we got them back, but the damage was already done.
Neal telling his story at this homelessness town hall meeting in Canoga Park. Experts discuss solutions.
Through our street outreach to our bridge housing, which is a term that we're now using instead of saying shelter, it is a bridge to permanent housing. Somebody shouldn't just come in for the night. We need to help them find permanent housing.
And that means job placement, mental health, and other services on site to help keep tenants off the streets for good. Canoga Park Councilman Bob Blumenfield says the city has invested $138 million this year, money for homeless housing with services.
I sit on the budget committee, and we had to trim everywhere else in the budget to come up with this $138 million. It's a lot of money for a city like Los Angeles. The other thing that the city did in terms of the funding side of this is to put a measure on the ballot
In November, we the voters will decide on Measure HHH, a $1.2 billion housing bond, or proposed increases to our property taxes to help pay for even more homeless housing. Northridge area councilman Mitchell Englander, who himself was homeless as a youth, makes a request.
Pick a day, once a month, to go help with a nonprofit, to get involved in your community, to do something to make a difference. And when I say we're all in this together, I mean it. We can't solve this alone, and government is not going to bail us out. We can't just tax our way out of this. We're all in this together.
And all I'm asking is, this is supposed to be Los Angeles, the city of angels, and I just want to have people show me the angels. I want to see the change. I thank you, and I hope that we can all make a change.
In Canoga Park, I'm Gil Reyes for LA This Week.
Since last year, homelessness in the city has increased 11%. In the San Fernando Valley, it's up by more than 30%. Well, for the first time ever, a woman is running for United States president. It's a testament to how far women have truly come in the fight for equal rights. But the fight is far from over. Here at home, another woman is making history herself by hoping to inspire young ladies to reach for their dreams one discussion at a time. Rasha Goel has more.
And we have these conversations about, well, if the woman's running for office, who's raising your children at home? How many of the men that are running for office nowadays are asked that question? So there's a double standard in our society that we have to confront.
The first Latina American woman to be on the LA City Council, Nuri Martinez, is shining the spotlight on the obstacles women still face every day. The councilwoman says one way to change the mindset is to start early and get more girls involved in politics. It was one of many topics addressed at this recent panel discussion held at City Hall.
It's really to celebrate Women's Equality Day and allow us to have an opportunity to get to know women from across the city.
You have to remind people that it's not okay to have that kind of discriminatory behavior and the questions that you ask women candidates or elected officials that you don't ask of the male candidates.
Conversation was about how to have women help support each other, mentor each other, and about not feeling the pressure to live a perfect life.
Sometimes our lives are a little chaotic, and that's okay. My life is chaotic, and we have to accept that. But we have a role to play in society, and we need to be very comfortable with taking power, owning power, and being very confident about having power.
We are organizing women on the ground to support other women, and we're trying to help make sure that we close the leadership gap here in California.
A gap that city leaders hope will continue to shrink and ultimately disappear. I'm Rasha Goel for LA This Week.
The panel discussion was followed by a screening of Suffragette, which tells the story of a working-class wife and mother who joins the fight for British women's right to vote. Well, it's hard to believe, but once, back in the 1920s, LAPD officers received no formal police training, just what they learned on the streets. The LAPD's training academy at Elysian Park changed all of that, and now another change as the academy gets a facelift. Ana Marcos brings us the grand reopening.
An explosive red carpet at the LAPD Training Academy to welcome the renovation of its training facility and the addition of a new building for classrooms.
And it all importantly replaced the Jack Webb trailers into these state-of-the-art air-conditioned rooms here.
The academy has trained some 30,000 officers here. Most have joined the LAPD. Some have gone on to become mayors, U.S. senators, police chiefs, and even Gene Roddenberry, the creator of Star Trek, trained here with a badge and gun.
We've been here to work out. We've been here to shoot. We've been here to learn, to train, to inspire.
But this is about more than just a building renovation or even a red carpet. For many here, it's about rededicating themselves to the values that make the LAPD what it is.
This place has created the greatest police officers in the United States and maybe the world. This is the place that teaches work ethic. This is a place that teaches integrity. This is a place that teaches honesty in everything that we do.
And of course, the Academy is also celebrating decades of training officers on how to keep LA streets safe. I'm Anna Marcos for LA This Week.
The LAPD's oldest living detective, Edwin Lee Chapman, who is 96 years young, was also honored at the event. And as the new Historic Academy celebrates its grand reopening, a new generation of LAPD officers will soon be helping the facility write its new chapter. Here's more from the latest LAPD graduation ceremony.
Left, left, left. It's been a long life dream that I've been had since I was a kid.
To be honest, it doesn't feel real. This feels like it's a dream.
But it isn't a dream. For these 24 Angelinos, it's a dream come true.
In that big building up there, City Hall, there are millions of people who support what you're doing and thank what you're doing.
The commissioner's words meant even more at this graduation, held during a time when the community's relationship with law enforcement is being tested across the country.
Despite these challenging times, all of us here know that you, the newest members of the LAPD, will work to build bonds of mutual trust and respect with the communities you serve, because you are working for the finest police force in the nation.
What's truly gotten them to this day has been the strength of their inner character. For law enforcement is a profession that requires an enormous inner strength of character. And that is something that we have not and could not teach.
And after 24 weeks and 912 hours of training in front of family and friends, the time had come.
I feel like I'm ready to go out there and make a difference in the city of Los Angeles. And I pray for my classmates that we're all going to thrive out there and be safe.
The LAPD is the third largest police department in the nation. While the LAPD helps connect the Latino community with city services, a lighting conference shines a bright light on the future of city streetlights, and walking to school for some kids just got a lot safer. All these stories in Citybeat. The LAPD's Rampart Station recently hosted a Latino community forum to facilitate conversation between police, community leaders, and the general community. Various community service providers were also on hand to ensure folks know what resources are available, such as healthcare and immigration services.
The objective of this forum is to really bring the community together, to show partnership, to create relationship with the community.
Mayor Eric Garcetti gave remarks at the 2016 Illuminating Engineering Society Street and Area Lighting Conference. The event brings together bright ideas and bright lights from some of the country's top lighting engineers and technicians to find innovative ways of improving outdoor streetlights so that they do more than just provide light.
How can a light be more than just something that provides safety? How can it inspire us through its architecture? How can we attach other things to it that serve other means, whether it's access to technology or dealing with climate change?
For those walking along Yale Street to Castellar Elementary School and the Alpine Recreation Center in Chinatown, some street improvements will hopefully make the walk a bit safer. Project elements along this high pedestrian area in Council District 1 include curb extensions, a landscaped median island, curb ramps, and continental crosswalks. Funding for the project was made possible by a federal transportation grant.
It's little improvements like this, bit by bit, street by street, crosswalk by crosswalk, that are going to save people's lives, that are going to make sure that children, their parents, their grandparents are part of this neighborhood and part of this community for many, many years to come.
Well, they're a group of community members who have one common goal: to save and protect lives. It's a pledge they take seriously, and if you've got what it takes, you may be the next fireman or woman to join this elite group. No, this isn't a gym. This is the 5th Firefighter Career Expo. The Los Angeles Fire Department is looking for a few good and qualified women and men.
We have different venues here. We have venues where we talk about what you need to do to prepare yourself to get on the fire department, either physically, and also how to pass the oral exam, and also what to expect if you're hired on the fire department.
The LAFD isn't just a fire department, it's a full-spectrum life safety agency serving more than 4 million LA residents. And just like the city, it's growing. The word is out for future firefighters who just might have the right stuff.
I'm an explorer for Las Vegas Fire and Rescue. I heard about this event on Eventbrite on Instagram, on social media, so I decided to drive down here and check it out because I want to pursue a career in firefighting, and the way to get in is to apply at different places.
My background's fitness, and this has a lot of the skills that I possess, and so it's a great pay, great job, great way to help the community.
Serving the LAFD isn't just about strength of body, it's also about strength of character and the desire to be a hero every day. So why do it?
Save lives, pull people out of burning buildings, the usual.
The Career Expo is just the beginning of the process of becoming a firefighter with the LAFD, but dreams have to start somewhere. To learn more about the next LAFD Career Expo or about becoming a firefighter with the Los Angeles Fire Department, check out LAFD.org. Well, it's not enough for you alone to be prepared. It takes neighbors helping neighbors during a disaster. That's why the community of Los Feliz is practicing emergency drills together in preparation for the big one. Gil Reyes has more from Children's Hospital Los Angeles.
Like dedicated athletes, staffers at Children's Hospital clear one exhausting hurdle after another. The name of the game here is saving lives.
Well, it looks like the staff is getting pretty worn out because they don't know what events are coming. But at Children's Hospital, the Pediatric Disaster Resource and Training Center tries to stretch the limit. We want to force our staff to think about things that, unfortunately, not a lot of us think about.
This is all part of the 7th Annual Disaster Olympics, a time for first responders and staffers here at Children's Hospital to practice emergency situations before the real ones hit.
In this scenario, it's a large earthquake with a 5th grade class.
And prioritizing who gets treated first and who can wait. The victims are played by students from nearby Los Feliz Elementary School.
We're triaging, which is to sort all of our patients that you see behind us. All the tarps are different colors of severity of injuries, with the red being the greatest and the green being the least.
City fire officials say in a real earthquake, crews will likely be too busy elsewhere to respond immediately. So it's up to hospitals, businesses, and schools to know emergency escape plans, first aid techniques, and other basics, and to practice them often. The kids also learn that cool heads prevail.
If there's something bad happening, don't panic.
So this is an event really for the community. We want the children as well as our staff, as well as the folks helping staff these events to learn to be prepared, stay vigilant. You never know when something bad's going to happen.
At Children's Hospital Los Angeles, I'm Gil Reyes for LA This Week.
Now, the LA City Fire Department urges hospitals, schools, and churches to practice similar preparedness drills at least once a year. Well, did you know that going green can save you money? Well, just a few small changes at home can make a big difference, not just for your wallet, but for the environment as well. And it's not as hard as you may think. As part of LADWP's program to spread the word about energy efficiency throughout the city, the department joined with the community of Boyle Heights to show low-income residents that it doesn't always take money to save money.
To really get the word out to the community about the programs we offer in energy and water efficiency, as well as bring together the community for a fun afternoon of music, food, and events.
The Eastside Solar Festival, held at the Mariachi Plaza, was a chance for the LADWP to encourage energy efficiency by offering free low-flow shower heads and sink aerators to help residents reduce water usage.
But we also are in the process of rolling out a program to give every household in the city 2 free LED bulbs. Those are high-efficiency light bulbs that use very little energy. Over the next 6 or 7 months,
city agencies, local businesses, and nonprofits also took part in the effort.
We are implementing a program on behalf of the South Coast Air Quality Management District that provides between $4,000 to $9,500 to residents that live in low to moderate communities towards the purchase of an advanced technology vehicle such as a plug-in hybrid or an all-electric vehicle.
Even the live entertainment was earth-friendly with a 100% solar-powered stage.
We have
bundles of rebates for electric vehicles, as well as programs for solar panel installation for low-income families. We want to make sure that we democratize our climate change policies, irrespective of who they are and where they come from, especially our children and our community members and our elders in Boyle Heights. They deserve to breathe into their lungs clean air. Yes or no?
Absolutely! Officials sending a clear message that everyone can help LA meet its clean energy goals. For programs and ideas on how you can go green, check out LADWP.com. Well, the biggest party of the year brings together some of the biggest names in music. Get a taste of all things Japanese during an annual event, and a food festival that'll satisfy all of your cravings. All this in this week's Things to Do. America's biggest block party is back in 2016 with 15 shows in 13 cities. And it's our turn during the first weekend in October. The Mad Decent Block Party features a lineup that includes Cascady, Diplo, Kesha, Dylan Francis, and more. There's no better way to kick off the fall season than with your favorite performers. So don't miss out on this year's Mad Decent Block Party taking place on Saturday, October 1st at Los Angeles Center Studios, located at 450 South Bixel Street. For more, visit maddecentblockparty.com. The Japanese American National Museum hosts dozens of vendors with jewelry, kimono fabric fashions, handbags, ceramics, origami and glass art, and even dog fashions during the 8th annual Kokoro Craft Boutique. At 1 p.m., you can catch a drum performance and other entertainment. Proceeds from this boutique will benefit the museum's education programs. It all happens in Little Tokyo on Sunday, October 2nd from 10 to 4 p.m. Celebrating the foodie culture that Los Angeles has become known for, Eastside Food Festival is a gathering of the best and rising stars from LA's gastronomic scene. The festival supports local sustainability, featuring locally owned and operated businesses, including more than 30 local vendors, including restaurants, celebrity chefs, caterers, locally owned brands, and more, with a focus on the evolving and diverse scenes of LA's East Side. So bring your appetite on Sunday, October 2nd to Max Sennett Studios, located at 1215 Bates Avenue. For more, visit eastsidefoodfest.com. And that's a look at some things to do. Well, that's going to do it for this edition. I'm Yana Kay, and from all of us here at LA This Week, thanks for joining us. A reminder that you can catch us online at lacityview.org. You can also follow and like us on Facebook. We'll see you back here next week for more of LA This Week.